What's up, guys? Jonathan Stuckey here. Tried to get out on the water to do this, but it's pretty windy today. It's nasty out there, and just couldn't get the wind to chill out a little bit for the microphone. But gonna do a couple tournament recaps. I got behind a little bit. We're gonna catch up. A lot of videos coming out on my YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that. Start things off. This is gonna be a recap on the Costa Series. Not a whole lot happened in that thing for me, so it'll be a real quick spill. But in the next few weeks, keep an eye on my Instagram, my YouTube page, and there'll be a ton of videos coming out from Quicksilver Products. Me telling you all about fuel treatment, boat maintenance from spark plugs, fuel filters, and all that good stuff. So keep an eye out for that. We'll dive right in. FLW Costa Southeastern on Okeechobee back in January was not a good event at all. I got in a bind. I didn't know I was gonna make the cut to actually get to fish the event. So I didn't have the time to take off to practice. I got down there, put in the day before the tournament, pulled out of the Kissimmee River into Lake Okeechobee, and it was 4-foot waves. So it wasn't worth it to me. I wasn't gonna take the risk. So doubled back, went back up in the river, fished for a couple hours. Never really got on anything in there, but like I said, didn't want to go out in the lake, chance tearing something up, getting hurt, something like that. So just went out the next day and winged it, and didn't get a bite all day. Fished King's Bar, fished Harney Pond. I fished all over the place, and a lot of different techniques. But anyways, it was going around the end of the first day, and about 2 o'clock, about an hour and a half before my check-in time, I ended up getting a couple bites. First bites, Gambler BB Cricket Mega Bass Flipping Stick. This is the older Rochi XX. Custom Dial-Wazillion 9.1 to 1, done by the Tackle Trap up in Boaz, Alabama. They're just south of Lake Gunnersville. They built this reel for me. It was a 7 to 3. They made it super fast for me and added a little bit more drag for what I hoped was going to be hauling a big fish out of the thick stuff, but didn't pan out. Anyways, they put this reel together for me last minute. Those guys are awesome. Can't thank them enough for what they've done for me over the years. But ended up getting a couple bites on this. Missed two in one little cut in King's Bar, or right off King's Bar, and don't know what size they were. I just, as bad as the day was, I was just happy to get bit. I shook it off, went another 10 minutes or so in this little cut, and stuck a big one. 5.5, 6 pounds, probably 15 foot off the side of the boat, punching in some grass. Hooked up with the fish, and for some reason this fish didn't want to go deeper in the grass. He wanted to come out. So he came out about 100 miles an hour, slammed into the trolling motor, and came off. That pretty much wound up my day. And everybody knows what happened during that event. Very tragic thing. I'm not going to get into any details on that. Just a very sad day, and a sad tournament, and a hurt for the bass fishing community overall. So next up, we get into the second stop. A couple weeks ago, Lake Seminole. Same deal, Costa Series, Southeastern Division. Went down there, same deal, was waitlisted until the last minute. Almost didn't even get a place to stay. Almost had to sleep in my truck. But managed to get a cabin, came down, was able to get a couple hours of practice in the day before. Found a lot of small males dragging a worm, dragging a Cinco actually, through some shallow hydrilla. Thought that maybe I was on to something, ran out of time, had to get checked in, had to go to the meeting and all that good stuff, but that's all I had to go off of. So go out day one, do that deal. First thing, dragging, nothing. So anyways, that didn't pan out. Didn't get any bites that way, can't figure it out. The only thing I can think of is we got some high winds and some cold temps the night before the tournament, and high winds during the day. So I'm thinking those fish might have got blown out of those areas. But anyways, made the switch. Ended up picking up this dude right here. old Bill Lewis rattle trap, and managed to finally, towards the end of the day, find myself 3 little oak keepers. They weighed about 4.5 pounds altogether. So it got me on the board and took the 0 off the plate, so that was a good thing. Go back out day 2. I got a buddy that, you know, has been catching fish in 8 to 10 foot of water, dragging a mag speed worm, and he put together about a 17-pound bag. So I have to think that, you know, that's the deal. So I go out the next day. I got me some areas picked out. I spent hours looking at the maps, finding some good stuff. Found some areas to fish, went out and did that for like 3 hours and no bites. Well, come to find out, end of the day, me and him talk, and he didn't get no bites that way the second day either. And he had been on fish the entire week during practice doing the same thing. So when that didn't work, I went back to doing what I know and what I love to do, and that's chunking the swim jig. This particular jig is made by 4x4 jigs. I forget the exact color, but it is a Brandon McMillan color. I coupled it up with a structured bug from Strike King in peanut butter and jelly, and ended up catching my fish on day 2 all on this swim jig, all in about the last 4 hours of my day. Really caught them in about an hour and a half. But keys to this deal right here: good high-speed reel, 50-pound Cigar Smackdown braid, 7'3" heavy, moderate fast. Moderate fast is key to this swim jig for me. Whenever you get bit on the swim jig, you know, you're reeling them in, you're pumping them along. Of course, you're gonna drop the tip a little bit when he bites it. You're gonna give it to him. But if you got that broomstick up there, like a lot of guys fish with, and that fish comes up and pulls down on that swim jig, if that tip doesn't give for him, you're gonna pull the jig out of his mouth. So as quick as you think you are dropping that tip, you need the rod to do a little bit of the work for you, take a little bit of pressure off that fish. So the moderate fast lets him eat the jig a little bit better, lets me have another split second to give him the rod tip, and then set the hook, snatch him out of whatever he's in. Anyways, that's the deal. Ended up catching 1/5, 1/6, and a 3-pounder. Moved me up from 170 something to like 92nd place. I missed 2 big ones, 4.5, maybe 5. Well, I say miss them. I lost them close to the boat towards the end of the day on this same deal. That would have put me in check range. Would have put me on a really good bag, you know, probably around probably a little over 20 pounds, and would have put me in check range. But that's fishing, you can't catch them all. That's the way it pans out. So anyways, that's the recap on the Costa series for this year so far. Y'all stay tuned. There'll be a tournament recap on the FLW Bama Division on Martin, and the FLW Bama Division that was just this past weekend on Lele.